Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Tasmanian businesses are being urged to better protect themselves against bank system failures that have this week left thousands of staff without pay. Commonwealth Bank customers are slowly regaining access to their online banking following a crippling national outage.
Back in business after a national outage. The Commonwealth Bank's Glenorchy branch was one of dozens nationwide open this morning. It comes after its customers' finances were paralysed by a network outage that started on Thursday, leaving them unable to perform certain tasks.
Going to do the grocery shopping, we had to leave the shopping and go. So at Woolworths.
Some, however, managed to escape trouble.
I'm a bit old school, I suppose. I like dealing with people rather than through the internet or whatever.
The Small Business Council says many Tasmanian businesses were unable to process payments.
Also expensive when it comes to nerves. It's a very trying time when something like that goes down, and small business people feel it more keenly than most.
This afternoon, the bank said it was still working through the extensive backlog of payments, apologising for the lengthy delay. Mr Mallet is encouraging Commonwealth Bank to be open in their communication.
They need to be quick and they need to be honest. They needn't make up reasons why this is going. They need to be upfront about it. If they don't know, they need to also say that.
In the meantime, local businesses are being encouraged to consider installing a backup payment method.
Make sure you've got one of the other online ones like Square or PayPal, because they're pretty much available all the time.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Extinction Rebellion protesters took their cause to Salamanca Square this morning as they continue to call for more action on climate change. They held a Swim for Your Life event next to the square's fountain, donning wetsuits and snorkel goggles for the occasion. The group says the event aims to highlight the dangers of rising sea levels, which are predicted to rise by up to 1 metre by next century.
This is an extraordinary issue and we need leadership, and if the government are not going to give us that, then the people have to take the lead.
It comes after a number were arrested for blocking the entrance to Parliament House on Thursday evening. Dizzying rides or the chance to take home a winning ribbon have drawn thousands to the Longford Show. Queues were a little shorter this year as the rain moved in, but that didn't stop the good times.
From horses to dogs almost the size of horses.
We've got Moose the Newfoundland.
How does Moose go on the leash?
Very good on the leash. I walk him, he does not walk me.
Just getting through the animals of the Longford Show took time. There was the pride of the farmyard, with a last-minute clipping before judging. And, well, animals you wouldn't want to groom.
They're just an average animal wanting to get along with their own day.
You wouldn't want to put one of these in a show bag though, would you?
One of these guys? Nah, not particularly. I want to put them in a very tough bag.
Pickings were plenty for the real show bags.
I've got about 5 or 6.
How much money have you spent on show bags today?
I wouldn't like to think.
Even the grown-ups couldn't resist.
Show bags. What do you like? The food.
Not that everyone knew how to eat the food.
One of the staples of the Longford Show is, of course, the sheaf toss. But you still need to have fun on the rides.
The show has been running for more than 160 years. Passionate organisers keep the formula simple.
We aim to put on a value for money show, which doesn't cost people very much once they get inside the ground.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
If you found today cold, then spare a thought for the brave souls who took an icy dip for a good cause. More than 50 people in fancy dress took the plunge in the fight against motor neuron disease. There were no hesitations, even though sliders did shiver afterwards.
A little bit, but I feel amazing, and it's nothing like what people with MND go through every day, so it's definitely worth it.
2,000 people are diagnosed with this disease every year, and we lose 2,000 people to this disease every year. So we've got to find a cure, we've got to raise awareness, and to do all of that we need to raise money.
And that's certainly what they did today, raising around $50,000 ahead of a cocktail party tonight. Motorcyclists made plenty of noise today, raising thousands of dollars for Tasmanian hospitals. Richardson's Harley Davidson used its 41st birthday to raffle off 3 shining bikes to 3 lucky new owners.
We've sold out all of our tickets, so we've raised $50,000 for Give Me 5 for Kids with the help of the community.
Give Me 5 for Kids supports sick children in Tasmanian hospitals, providing new life-saving equipment and facilities. He lost his son to a tragic accident back in 2017, and it almost stopped a Tasmanian filmmaker from completing his autobiographic film. But Mick Lawrence persevered and is using his latest documentary, airing this coming week, to share his life and loss with the world.
Waves crashing and easing here at Clifton Beach, a reflection of this Tasmanian filmmaker's life. The memoir of the 72-year-old surfer has been captured through film as a loving dedication to his son's memory.
The original intent was something that I gave to him and he could pass on to his kids. And in many ways, it's just a message to him, and he's in a different dimension, that's all.
Timmy Lawrence tragically died after he collided with a navigation beacon on his jet ski near Marion Bay in 2017. The shock and grief leading Mick to think he'd never complete his film Rogue Waves.
I just walked away from the project at that point, lost my audience, so that was it, project over.
So it was about 3 or 4 months later, Mick rang up and said, look, I'd really like to continue. I guess working so closely with Mick, I sort of felt a lot of his pain as well.
The outpouring of support after his son's death, also featuring in the documentary. The film Rogue Waves then serving as a tribute to Timmy and therapy for Mick.
Mental health problems and deaths in family and stuff like that. So all those rogue waves are the basic underlying theme of what it's about. It's about my life and how I dealt with the rogue waves when they arrived.
Using the Tasmanian coastline and pristine views to paint a picture of his whole story.
So it's set against a beautiful backdrop, has serious undercurrents, but lots and lots of fun. When I look back at it and go, wow, that was my life. Amazing.
Rogue Waves screens at the State Cinema on Tuesday night. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
The lawns outside Parliament House were alive with the sounds of car engines as Tess Bosch began. In its 29th year, the event raises money for underprivileged regional youth. Old cars were decked out in various designs, while some drivers took to dressing up. Drivers must raise at least $2,700 to take part in the 5-day event.
The commitment from those volunteers and the Bash teams is quite commendable and very telling of their connection to our cause.
The cars will spend tonight on Bruny Island, finishing up in Launceston on Wednesday.
To cricket, and after securing a string of star recruits, the Hobart Hurricanes women's side have lived up to the hype, beating the Melbourne Stars in their opening WBBL match of the season, while New South Wales big guns fired up, making life difficult for the Tigers following day 2 of their Sheffield Shield clash in Sydney.
Keen to open their WBBL account on the right note, Erin Fazakli was at her devastating best for the Canes, smashing a string of early boundaries. Fellow opener Steph DeFara lasting just 9 balls at the crease, with English captain Heather Knight also unable to make an impact on the scoreboard. Fazakli's day eventually brought to a halt on 46 as star recruit Nicola Carey followed her to the sheds on the very next ball. International signing Chloe Tryon stepping in to pick up the pieces, putting on an unbeaten 46 to help the Canes along to a 164-run total. Chasing early wickets, Aussie quick Belinda Vaquera delivered in spades, dismissing 2 of the Stars' best in quick succession. New signing Macy Gibson also impressing in purple, claiming 3 scalps to help the visitors along to a comfortable 20-run win. Meanwhile, after setting a respectable total of 268, the Tigers' attack got to work early in day 2 of their Sheffield Shield clash with New South Wales, with Sam Rainbird claiming the prize scalp of David Warner just 3 overs in. But former Aussie skipper Steve Smith wasn't going anywhere.
And that's going to run away for 4.
Daniel Hughes also proving a stick in the mud for the Tigers' quicks as the pair began to build a tidy partnership, with Smith channeling his recent Ashes form.
Back foot, well timed by Smith.
Hughes making easy work of the visitors' paceman as the Tigers struggled to find an answer for the heavy hitters. The breakthrough finally coming via Rainbird, dismissing Hughes on 39, But Smith was just getting started as the world's best batsman notched up another first-class half-ton in style. Moses Enrique's also making his presence felt at the expense of the visitors' attack, belting his way past 50 to help see the Blues in the box seat.
Following months of speculation, the Hobart Chargers are officially back in the Tasmanian sporting landscape, with the side set to join the NBL 1 competition in 2020. After dissolving in 2018, the Southern Huskies took the Chargers' place in the NBL's feeder competition. But after the Huskies folded due to financial difficulties, the Chargers have been recently working to reform, with the NBL 1 today granting an initial one-year licence for the club.
Welcome back. 14 degrees today in Hobart. Launceston had a top of 13 with 14 degrees also in Burnie and Devonport. Around the state, 17 was the top temperature for the friendly beaches, 15 degrees for Cressy, Smithton, Fingal and St Helens, 14 degrees for the Bass Strait Islands, Grove, Wynyard and also Campania, with 13 for Low Head and Scottsdale, 12 degrees at Ouse, Strawn and Sheffield. On the charts, speckled cloud, low cloud visible there over the state today. Further out shows smoother cloud over southern parts of WA trapped under a high, with patchy conditions over Queensland associated with a surface trough, but most remaining areas cloud free. Tomorrow the high moves over South Australia, extending a ridge over central parts. Troughs remain over the far northwest and northeast, while a front passes the southeast of Tasmania. West to southwesterly winds 20 to 30 knots, reaching 35 about the south and the lower east until early evening, with seas between 2 and 4 metres. There's a gale warning current for lower eastern and southern coastal waters. A strong wind warning is current for remaining waters around the coast, as well as southwest and central lakes. Onto the forecast, morning showers in Hobart, 17 degrees, 17 also for Richmond, 15 at Ouse. Cloudy through the north, 18 in Launceston, 16 for Devonport, Deloraine, 15 degrees, 15 with showers for Burnie, Strawn and Curry, with 19 the top for St Helens, 18 degrees at Swansea and a top of 16 degrees for Whitemark. And fine conditions expected on Monday, with showers easing in the west. Tuesday brings mainly fine conditions again, with a few light showers through the west on Wednesday, but pretty fine elsewhere. Looking at your major centres now, around Australia, 27 and sunny in Perth, 19 degrees for Adelaide, Melbourne cloudy and 17, 21 for Canberra and Sydney, a sunny 29 in Brisbane with 32 and a sunny day in Cairns. And there's still a few clouds lingering around the state. Hobart 9 degrees, 9 for Launceston and cloudy and 11 in Devonport. That's all from me, Rach.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Sam. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow at 6. Bye for now.